Hey everyone, welcome to From the Depths. I'm Minty, and this is episode 21 of the Frigate Fracas tournament. This episode, we've got the Frigate by SPD, still as the active combatant, going up against a new challenger. I do believe this is the first time we have seen the Nibbler by a nickel. Let me double check that. Nope, it doesn't have any wins or losses, so obviously this is the first time it's showing up. Speaking of wins and losses, the Frigate has 2 losses, so if it loses this battle against the Nibbler, it will be retired and sent out of the tournament. So let's go ahead and, well, actually, hold on, before we get started, let's take a quick but longer than what I did earlier look at the Nibbler, since this is the first time we're seeing it. Got some pretty large turrets. They're very tall, thin, but they are definitely the main feature on the deck. It's pretty flat decked, but the hull shape is pretty nice. It's pretty neat. Anyway, I think that's good enough. Let's go ahead and get this battle underway. Secondaries from the Frigate are firing away, but the Nibbler doesn't seem to really be taking much damage from them. But it is also firing pure high explosive, which not the best shell to use anymore with the armor updates. Though, ouch, yeah, the Frigate does have pretty light armor, so if it does manage to hit with those explosive shells, they will do significant damage in this case. But most ships, the armor is going to be too heavy for pure high explosive to really be all that effective. That turret just took a shot straight to the face from the Frigate's secondaries there. Looks like the Nibbler's having a bit of trouble with range. Its guns weren't aiming there for a minute. The Frigate was too far out. Now some sort of tracer round from the secondaries. Oh, those are frag shells, I believe. Neither ship has taken all that much in the way of damage. The Frigate is fast and maneuverable, so it doesn't get hit all that often, but the Nibbler seems to be pretty heavily armored, so those secondaries are not doing a whole lot. I mean, they did manage to take out the Nibbler's gun here. But as it stands right now, we are still very much in draw territory after 2.5 minutes of fighting. The Frigate has that danger. It tends to push itself under the water and sink. So it could lose that. Ooh, that was a big hit. Wow, look at that. Look at that hole. That must have been like an ammo strike or something. Oh! Remember that sinking thing I was talking about? The Frigate was doing it right there. It's actually below 80% health. Man, that was a heavy hit. Frigate is repairing away like crazy, but... Oh, it lost all of its secondaries. That's what happened. That's why I lost so much health. I wonder if the the secondary explosions took out other secondaries there. That's bad news for the frigate. I don't think it has the oh no, it definitely does not have the materials to repair those guns. Oh, and the barrel's getting shredded by the frag rounds of the main gun. Secondary frag rounds just plugging away. Oh, the frigate is under the water again. Not getting disqualification time, not quite sinking, but getting awfully close. And it is out of materials to repair with it, 23% behind. It's also out of materials. And those frag rounds are shredding frigate's armor when they consistently land like this. Even when they don't hit directly. I think they may have an altitude fuse on them, or maybe a time fuse. They're definitely detonating without actually hitting and going up in a 360 burst of fragmentation. Interesting, because fragmentation rounds kind of took a bit of a nerf when the armor update came out. They seem to be doing just fine here, and that shell, ooh, that shell landed a hit. The Nibbler is pretty heavily armored, like its armor held out surprisingly well against everything the frigate's been throwing at it. And nope, the frigate is underwater again. It's somehow not quite sinking, but it's close, and it may not have the ability to turn anymore. Oh no, it seems it does, barely. But it's got a lot of ground to make up in the next, 3 minutes 45 seconds if it wants to claim this round as a win. Ooh, that was right on that turret. I think that gun was already disabled though. I don't think any of the main guns on the Nibbler are still functional. It's just the secondaries. But those secondary fragmentation rounds are doing some serious work against the Nibbler's, or the frigate's light armor. Have to hit to do damage. They just have to get in the general area and those fragments will do work. But the frigate is faster and more maneuverable, and setting the pace. It keeps crossing the bow of the Nibbler here, getting out of the firing arc of those secondaries temporarily. You can see their blocks falling off even though those shells didn't actually hit. Just whittling the frigate down. It seems like these secondaries are perfectly made to counter the frigate. They don't have to hit accurately. They just have to land in the same general vicinity as the frigate, and those fragments will do work on the light armor. The frigate is mostly wood, if I remember correct. Oh no, it has some metal too, but it's got a lot of wood. I think like the bow and the stern are mostly wood, so the fragments are good at tearing those up. Whoops. Oh, my mouse with the keyboard there. Way to go, excellent camera work, I know. Yeah, I don't think the frigate really has any chance of coming back and winning this at this point. It's fighting too far out for its long-range guns. Or it's too far for its main guns. It's too long a range, especially with the barrel damage. Like, all 3 barrels are different lengths. That means probably only one of them is actually being aimed properly. And then there's such short barrels that the inaccuracy is going to be really high at this point. Because the barrels got sheared off by fragmentation rounds. The only question that remains at this point is whether or not the frigate's going to survive to the 10-minute mark. The question is how the frigate's going to lose, not if. Looks like that question has been answered. The frigate is defeated by a hit point victory by the Nibbler. It has almost 30%, like 27.1 I think is the proper number there. Whatever it is, it's much greater than 5%. So the Nibbler by a nickel is victorious in round 1 here. So let's go ahead and get this restarted. We'll get round 2 underway and see how this goes. I'm interested to see if, because definitely the key here was that strike that knocked out the secondary guns of the frigate. So I believe all 4 of those guns went down at the same time. Ooh, one of the secondaries took a hit there. Ooh, 2 of the secondaries, 1 on each side. Like, if the Nibbler can manage to take down those secondaries, you know, a second time, it could very well send the frigate packing. But the Nibbler seems to have a pretty good repair rate as well. Oh, but the frigate seems to be going for those secondaries this time. It's not going to let that happen again. But I mean, the primary guns aren't anything to scoff at either. They did a pretty significant amount of damage last round too. The secondary guns seem to not be able to. Yeah, they're missing by a very wide margin now. So wide that not even... Well, that was a hit. Frigate doing some serpentine maneuvers, dodging the shells, but it is dipping under the water. I don't know why it does this, but it is under the water and gaining disqualification time. It cannot be a submarine. That is not allowed. It's coming back up now after getting 17 seconds of disqualification time. Almost a third of its disqualification clock was used right there. And if it keeps doing that, the Nibbler is pretty tanky. It could very well be able to just tank the damage out until the frigate gets itself disqualified. Ooh. Yeah, it had a bit of frame rate drop there. The Nibbler took a big hit. It seems to have lost engine power, which is really bad considering the low firing arc of its secondaries. Plus now it's going to be a lot easier for that main gun to hit and do some damage. Oh, there it goes. It got itself repaired. Is back underway. And the frigate has 20 seconds of disqualification. Yeah, see, the spread of those shells is a lot less now that the barrels are. Ooh, all 3 of the main gun shells landing there. But, oh, the Nibbler's down to 75% health. It has taken a lot of damage. It doesn't look like it's taken that much damage. Oh. Well, there it is. From above, it doesn't look like it's taken all that damage. And then you look underneath and it's like, oh, that's a lot of missing ship. Yeah, things are not looking good for the Nibbler in this round. It has taken a lot of damage. It only has this one main gun still functional, and well, it does have a secondary here that seems to be fully operational, so that will be able to whittle at the frigate. And if it manages to score that critical hit again and knock out the secondaries, it can still come back to this. There's also always the possibility that the frigate will disqualify itself. Oh, yep, see, here it goes, under the water again. I'm not sure why it does that, but it does it pretty consistently. Ooh, I think that was a yeah, that was a main gun hit from the Nibbler back here. It's a pretty big hole. The Nibbler is down to 68.5%. It has taken a lot of damage. Oh, those shells look like they might land as well. Oh no, just barely. I think one of them actually over-penetrated through the bottom there, yeah. Oh, and that rear gun just took a hit. So I think the only functioning weapon on the Nibbler, left on the Nibbler is this secondary cannon right here. But with the Nibbler constantly playing chase, it's not going to be able to fire that very often. And the Nibbler has gone dead in the water again. No, I think it still has propulsion, yeah, but they're not operational. Must have taken out the AI card, or maybe the fuel or the engines. I mean, there's a lot of internal damage on the Nibbler, so it could very well be the engines. Because again, looking at it from the outside and above, it doesn't look like it's taken all that much damage. But then you get under the water line and you see a lot more. So there's even a hole here somehow. I'm not exactly sure how that happened. But it does look like the Nibbler is going to be defeated here this time around. Question just remains, how is it going to be defeated, not when. Or, well, how and when, but not when. So the Nibbler doesn't have any way to win unless the frigate gets itself disqualified. Which may happen. It is actually pushing itself under the water again right here. A little, not terribly. Seems like whenever it turns left, it has that issue. Whenever it makes a hard left turn, it goes under the water. Oh, and the frigate has sailed into the firing arc of the Nibbler's secondary, but it doesn't matter because the Nibbler is too damaged. And as long as the frigate is alive when the respawn happens, yep, it is not gaining disqualification time. It has survived, so round 2 goes to the frigate. So we're going to go ahead and restart, and we're going to get round 3 underway now. Because this is round 3 and it is a tie going into round 3, we can't have a draw, so the 5% rule is removed for this match. Whoever has the most hit points when it's over wins. Let's go ahead and get this started, get it underway, see how this goes. See, did the Nibbler just get a really lucky shot in the first round, or did it get unlucky in the second? Those are the questions we're here to answer in round 3. So far, not a whole lot of action. The Nibbler taking a few hits from the frigate's secondaries, but they weren't anywhere near as critically damaging as they were in the second round. Looks like there was some barrel damage on one of the front guns, but other than that, oh, and that barrel damage just got repaired, so secondary guns are in perfect fighting form. All they have to do is get in their firing arc. They just reached. And there they go, firing away. Or they were, now they're not. And one of them took some damage again, but that'll probably be repaired, you know, fairly expeditiously. Because the Nibbler just hasn't taken a lot of other damage. We had a bit of FPS lag there. Something big just got hit on the Nibbler. It looks like the forward secondary guns may have taken a hit from the primary turret and been critically damaged. Oh yeah, they detonated. There's nothing left of the magazines and whatnot under the hull. That was a pretty solid hit there. There must have been some ammunition. Is there ammunition or something stored up here in the... Yeah, there is. I was going to say, because those fragmentation shells didn't have any explosives before, but this time... It's like, oh yeah, see those frag shells just rip apart the bow. Do a lot of damage to the frigate's bow and stern. Nibbler here is down to 84% and has almost used all of its materials. That is bad news for the Nibbler. Probably spent a lot trying to repair this gun up here. the secondaries. Yeah, look at all the materials it's spent repairing the gun, and it's not going to have enough to finish it. Which means it basically wasted all of the materials that it spent trying to repair those. That's a shame. This gun is damaged. I don't think it's able to fight. Like the Frigate is in its firing arc, but it can't fire because all its barrels are gone. You can see it went all the way down to the mantle there. Oh, but the Frigate is going under the water again. I think it might actually be not based on any specific direction, but whenever it does the serpentine, maybe it's the force of rotating. You know, maybe the ship lists from one side to the other, and that's what's causing it to. Oh, that was a pretty good solid hit from the Nibbler's primary gun there. Which gun fired that? It must have taken a hit because none of the primaries are active anymore. Unless this one's... Nope. Nope, you can see the gauge work must have been damaged because the barrel is tiny. So it looks like the Nibbler is out of weaponry. Except for this one secondary gun, which the direction the frigate is sailing is not going to, you know, be able to fire. Like the Nibbler is going to get close, but not quite able to defeat the frigate. That first round must have had a lucky shell hit that managed to take out all 4 of those secondary guns here. That did a lot of damage. That took the frigate from like, it was like 90 something to 70 or 60 something percent when it lost all 4 of those guns. Oh, and there we go. The Nibbler is 2 damaged. Yep, that is going to be the end of this match, it seems, folks. There it goes. The frigate is victorious. And we'll be moving on to face its next opponent, which I believe is, yes, my ship. The Colibri by me is the next foe now. Let's go ahead and add that win. And the Nibbler gets a loss. And the Raider Palash should have retired by now. So I'll have to look into that. But this video has been long enough. I'm not going to do that on camera. So thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the battlefield.